Okay, so this is the rough wear harness that I mentioned. This is an extra small. I use it on my little Cavalier, and you can see how it fits on the dog. It's nice and padded, and this is the clip in the back. There is this little hook in the front here, this little hoop. I don't know if people use it to clip there. Front clip harnesses are good for dogs who pull because as the dog tries to pull forward, the pressure on the leash turns them, and they don't like that. It's uncomfortable, so they generally pull less. However, we can just teach a dog not to pull on a leash, and I like these back clip harnesses. It's really important when you use a harness on a dog that it fits really well and it's snug. Otherwise, if it's too loose, and this one is not too loose, but let's imagine it was, what happens is if they get behind you and you're trying to get them to move forward and they don't want to, they're scared, they begin to back up, and then this harness can actually just get they kind of pull themselves out of it, and then you're left with a harness and no dog. So really important that you also have a collar on the dog that has ID on it. This ID is a little metal plate that fits on the collar, and I really like them. They don't ever come off. I've never lost one, as opposed to the tags that just dangle. It's my preference. Okay, it is important as well that this collar is not going to slip off the dog's head, because I'm going to show you how we use the collar as kind of a backup system for making sure we don't lose the dog, because we lose these dogs all the time. It's a big risk, and that is so that so they've got their harness on, and you can see it's, she's going to end up having to learn to just put her head in the harness the same way she learned to put her head in a collar. Okay, and then it's going to get clipped in the back. It's going to take some training because you're manipulating the dog, you're managing the dog. Now, you want this collar. This collar is too loose, okay? So this collar would also come off the dog. So it's, that's not going to be helpful, because what we do is we want to have some kind of system, and this is just an old, it's like a little slip collar, and I want to hook the dog. I want to hook something on the harness to something on the dog. So how did I do this before? Every time I try to do this, I do it differently. I want to just make sure that I've gone through both the harness and I've got something clipped on together. So again, this is too long, but it's just to give you an example of somewhere you want, whether it clips you clip it over here or whatever, but you want to make sure, because if you do end up losing the harness off the dog, and I'm going to make it, I'm going to just make it so it looks like it's easier to do. Because what's going to happen is if the dog does this and slips out of the harness, you've still got your leash here and you still have a dog. Okay, so that's the backup system, because again, if they pull out. All right, so what we'll do is we can start with a plan, get yourself the harness that you like, and then we'll start conditioning the dog to wearing the harness.